Forgive me if I'm not going to tout the 80% cure rate in child cancer. My daughter had DIPG, as you saw the slides. Nothing's changed in 40 years for DIPG. And I think the statistic is probably closer to 95% of kids are gone after 12 to 18 months. The statistic that's touted of 80% cure rate for children with cancer, I think is one of the most damaging things that we're doing to our cause when we go to members' offices and talk about some of these pieces of legislation and talk about how, moving the legislation such as the Caroline Price Walker Act into an appropriations phase. When members hear that we're curing 80% of kids with cancer, they think, wow, we're doing pretty well. So I'm trying to change the messaging that gets sent out to the general public that doesn't know much about cancer. Before my daughter was diagnosed, I saw the St. Jude's commercials and kids were bald, they had leukemia, they were cured, they lived long, healthy lives. I never imagined that DIPG existed. So my question, and this may be more of a statement than a question, but why and how are we continuing to use a statistic that doesn't tell the full story? And if you remove some of the forms of childhood cancer from that statistic, what are you left with? 30% cure rate, possibly, for all other forms? So can we start to agree that we need to change the message? More of a statement than a question. I don't know whether anybody wants to address that or not, but we need to change the messaging that we're submitting to members of Congress and the outside community.
Yeah, I'll respond, but I agree with you. I think that the way I think Nancy and I, when they got members engaged, was to say it's the #1 killer for children. It's not 80% cure, because that's debatable. But it's the #1 killer of children, and we haven't had a child with cancer drug since the 1980s, approved by the FDA. That got their attention. Not to say there's an you want to tell the good news stories as well, but we have had a lot of successes. Like my best friend in grade school growing up started losing his hair, and I didn't know what was going on. He had leukemia in 4th grade. And back then it was a death sentence, and today it's, with the exception of AML, leukemia is about a 90% success rate. That's a great news story. And you don't want to not tell good news stories, but I think you're right. We need to emphasize when we're trying to persuade, why is it so important? Like on Homeland Security, I persuade by, okay, here's the threat, and here's why we need to do this. Same thing. What is the threat? The threat is it's the #1 killer of children in the world. It's not just this country. So that gets their attention, and that's persuasive, I think, to members of Congress.
Wait.
I have 2 comments. Richard Clarkin from the Max Cure Foundation. My grandson is a survivor and he was diagnosed before. In response to what Jonathan had said, when I advocate for pediatric cancer, I always say excluding leukemia, the survival rate is 65%. Because if the great advances in leukemia, it really brings down the survival rate of the main cancers. My second question is to Nancy with respect to the Creating Hope Act. Maybe Andy can answer this. One of my great concerns as we were advocating for the Creating Hope Act is that other rare childhood diseases could get in line in front of us when in fact pediatric cancer and advocates are the ones, the main movers. So do we have competition? In other words, when we hear that there are 4 pharmaceutical companies that are considering drugs for pediatric cancer, are there other rare cancers that are included under the Creating Hope Act that are also in front of these pharmaceutical companies that we're competing?
Thank you, Richard. It's not a competition, actually. Under the Creating Hope Act, a definite number of companies can receive designations for vouchers. And should their drugs be approved, as you know, the Creating Hope Act is a pilot project, which means that 3 vouchers will be created, and then after the creation of the 3rd voucher, as many vouchers as can be created in the 12 months after the creation of the 3rd voucher will also be authorized by the FDA. At that point, we all together in the room, hopefully, will go back to Congress and request reauthorization of the Creating Hope Act. So for me, I don't see this as a zero-sum game. I think it is an instrument that we can all benefit from. And I don't think that any benefit which pediatric rare diseases that are not cancers receive from the Creating Hope Act, I don't think that detracts from kids with cancer. Thanks.
Dr. Levy, did you have a comment?
Since I'm the one who used the 80%. I couldn't agree with you more from my own personal experience as a physician. And my clinical practice is primarily devoted to kids who have high-grade sarcoma, aggressive solid tumors. And so I'm sorry to hear about your experience with the LPG. And again, agree. Nonetheless, there are long-term implications to the therapies that are being given. And messaging is unquestionably important, and the truth is outside of my skill set. But I think some level of focus and some understanding for those who are survivors is no less important, despite